I want to ask you though, your assessment that you said you use to create the class. Does that include the DISC program, the multiple personality? I don't know, not multiple personalities, but the DISC is communication style personality. Does that include that at the start?
Yeah. So anytime I work with somebody, we do three things. I want to know what's a person's strengths. And oftentimes, especially I see this with women leaders. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen with non-women leaders, but I see a lot of the times we're so good at something we don't even see our own strengths. So I want to know their strengths. I want them to be able to articulate their strengths because if we stay within, that's where we thrive. Number two, I want to know your language in which you speak in, and I use that as a disc. So if we understand your language, then it's easier to say, hey, this person isn't speaking my language. Let me shift the way I'm speaking so they can hear me and not louder, but in their words. And then also we do the assessment. So we look at three different ways so we can really make it robust in their environment.
Okay, so if you're going to train me, and let's say I am that D level person, I'm just get it done. I'm just commanding. First thing, before we even go there, tell us what DISC is.
So DISC is a way, it's a good question. I never have to define DISC, so it got me. But DISC is really a way for us to observe measurable behaviors in communication. So there has been several behavioral psychologists who have noted and worked on DISC to what it is today. And they've noticed that you can break people up in different categories, if you will. And we're all really a mix of these categories, but these categories help us understand, are we people focused? Are we task focused? Are we fast paced or are we more deliberately paced? And each of those categories has its own desirable behavior traits. And once we understand that, if I'm talking to a people person, I'm not going to talk data because that's not their
Okay,
language, right?
okay. So that makes sense then. So if you look at the preferred mode of communication, that's the DISC program. Do you use the right? I know that's out of date, but the right brain, left brain theory. Do you use that at all, or any thoughts about
No,
that?
no, I
I know
don't
that's
actually.
oh, that's really out of date because the brain never looked the right brain, left brain. This never operated that way. But that's I find a lot of people still teach that. If you're aware of how people's brain work, then you're in better shape.